How's everybody doing tonight? It's your host Samuel Hill going live once again for tonight's episode of Black Money Market News. I hope everyone had a good weekend and enjoyed the markets being open today. Tonight's show, we're going to have lots of good information. We're going to cover some of the latest developments in the cryptocurrency world. We definitely want to talk about the announcement from CVS to acquire Aetna, and also give you guys an update on Broadcom's attempt to purchase Qualcomm. And for the second of my deep dives on different sectors of the economy, I'm going to be touching on the financial sector tonight. So if you're looking to start investing into some banks and other financial institutions, I definitely will bring some information that you can use for your wallets tonight. I'm also going to announce last week's winner of the Bitcoin giveaway. And don't forget, folks, you can always enter the current week's Bitcoin giveaway. All you have to do is like, share, and comment on one of this week's shows. That's right. All you have to do is like, share, and comment, and you will be entered to win free Bitcoin. I'm going to go ahead like I normally do, give a few minutes here to get some people on the live stream. Hopefully they can go ahead and join us. All right, guys. We are going to go ahead and get tonight's show started. As usual, I'm going to start off by going over the performance of some of the major stock indices and other financial assets for the day. The Dow Jones Industrial Average ended up 0.24%. The S&P 500 was down, slightly down 278 for a change of 0.11%, roughly just a little bit over a tenth of a percent change. NASDAQ was down a little over a full percentage point, down to end the day at 677.5. The Russell 2000 was down roughly 0.75%. Bitcoin was up roughly 3%. And the last time I got a chance to update these numbers was at 11,526.96. Gold was down roughly $3.70 in the day at 12.78 per ounce, and the Euro USD was up roughly 0.25% earlier today at 1.1867 on that euro for dollar exchange. So, big news breaking over the weekend in the pharmaceutical healthcare space. CVS announced that it's going to attempt to acquire Aetna Healthcare for $69 billion, the largest deal of 2017 if this acquisition goes through. This will combine CVS, which does have a pharmaceutical management service, with some of the big powerhouse of Aetna with this health insurance business. Sorry about that, folks. So this deal will have to go through regulatory approvals as well as shareholder approval. The price of both CVS and Aetna were down slightly today. but shareholders are saying that CVS may be paying a little bit too much for Aetna. Also, in the statement, CVS noted that this acquisition won't add to next year's earning if it is approved. Um, so there's not a lot of margins in the health insurance industry right now. So they're not saying this is going to help their bottom lines number, but this will give them some more vertical integration, hoping to offer more services locally to through their CVS retail locations. Some people are also saying this may be a hedge in case Amazon does go ahead and tip its toes in the prescription industry. Since Amazon has recently acquired 12 licenses in different states to start pursuing a possible entry into the pharmaceutical resale market. Also, in merger and acquisition news, Broadcom has announced that they will be nominating 11 new members of the board of directors in the hopes to perform a hostile takeover of Qualcomm. If all 11 members of the board that Broadcom puts into nomination are elected to those seats, that would completely sway the entire board, as there's only 11 board of directors seats there's only 11 current board of the director seats. So that would completely replace the current board of directors for Qualcomm, easily allowing the attempted merger to go through. So the election for those board of directors seats isn't until March. So definitely stay tuned for more updates on that merger and acquisition news in the semiconductor space. Stepping our toes into the cryptocurrency, Venezuelan president has announced that he has plans for the country to create a cryptocurrency backed by gold, oil, natural gas, and diamond reserves. Some are saying this is a play to help stabilize the economy there in Venezuela as inflation is out of control. They recently had to create 100,000 Venezuelan peso bill due to the rising cost of goods in Venezuela. Also, have seen a sharp decline in wages, with the average earner in Venezuela earning less than $4 a week in some reports. So this cryptocurrency would be government backed and backed by physical assets. So definitely keep an eye out on that front. There may be some additional scrutiny with some of the world scrutiny that Venezuela faces as they've gone through a political change and looking to appear to go to more of a from a democracy into more of a dictatorship down there from the global perspective. Also in cryptocurrency news, the CBOE announces that their Bitcoin futures will start trading on December the 10th. That's just a few days away. This will allow possible investors to go long or now have the first real major opportunity to go short on Bitcoin. So definitely look for some price fluctuations as those futures start trading for the first time here in the US. Also in cryptocurrency news, let me see here if I can pull this up. Here we go. So another cryptocurrency news, IOTA has broken out to new all-time highs off of the development of a partnership with Microsoft. IOTA has surged nearly 600% this month off of a series of announcements related to their launch of their data marketplace. So just a month ago, a single coin was worth 37 cents, but with the recent breakout moves, the current price was at 248. including a nearly doubling in the last 24 to 48 hours. Microsoft's partnership in the data marketplace will run for 2 months. So it's definitely still in the demo and building up phases. But with the uh, recent rise in its pricing, IOTA is now the fifth largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization. So this has been a big development for those that hold IOTA. There's been a lot of buzz over the last few weeks with some of these earlier announcements, but with the Microsoft announcements, you've definitely seen a skyrocket in its value. Would not be surprised just based off the technicals if you don't see it pull back to $2, or if not back below slightly $2. So if you haven't got a chance to get in it, if you still believe in the mission and what they're trying to achieve with their cryptocurrency, definitely never overpay. Study your chart, study your technicals, and make sure you get the best price you can. Use limit orders to make sure you get the pricing that you want. Also in cryptocurrency news, let's just take a look at the chart of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been trading in pretty much a, a, a new type of range, I would say. It is starting to develop more of an upward trend over the last 6 hours or so, with a series of higher lows and higher highs starting to form now. But for the last couple of days, it's really been trading between a low of 10.6 and a high of 11.700. So definitely look for another breakout above the 11,700 level to see a return to that uptrend, to develop more upward momentum to take out the possible 11,900 level it bounced against as an all-time high the other day. So definitely looking to if you looking at some positive momentum building in Bitcoin to restart another rally, as you can kind of see here, looking at the charting again, getting a series of higher lows and higher highs developing now. In other news, in the crypto space, definitely have seen a lot of more ICOs coming out. Those initial coin offerings, and those are starting to pick up even more and more um, scrutiny from regulators. So if you are in the ICO market, those are definitely some high risk investment opportunities, but with great risk can come great reward. So again, always practice your due diligence, study their white papers, check the validity, the validity of their promises to their investors. So always great opportunities out there, but always stay informed. Um, Not seeing too much more that I want to cover tonight, so I'm going to take a look at see if there's any questions or comments. Thanks, Jeanette. Thanks, Lashana, for joining in on the show tonight. Any questions or comments, go ahead and shoot them into the comment section. Otherwise, since I wrapped up the news, let's get into our sector deep dive for the evening, taking a look at the financial industry. So, over the last few months, there's been some major changes that have kind of lit some fire underneath some of these the financial industry, with the development of the Senate and the House both passing their versions of tax reform, and with the banks and financial services industries looking to definitely benefit from those lower tax rates. Their shares have definitely taken off. Also, another tailwind for the financial industry has been the rising of the rates from the U.S. Federal Reserve. As rates increase, they can charge higher interest rates, which go to their bottom line. So, Definitely two major macroeconomic factors are driving the forces behind the financial stocks. But there's always uh, better apples and bad apples in the bunch. Some of the better performers and better apples have been Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, Schwab. If you're looking to get into more of a investment fund, financial services. USB Corp has been one of the major ones in the more regional banks, and Citigroup has been rebounding with improved international performance in the financial industry as well. An underperformer has definitely been Wells Fargo. It keeps getting hit after hit after hit of bad news, from the fraudulent account scandal from roughly a year and a half ago, to the latest with some credit cards possibly being hacked on from their customers. So definitely Wells Fargo is one to stay away from for now until they can start getting some more positive news under it. But let's just go ahead and take a look at the charts of some of these and take a look at some numbers. Let's start with Bank of America. End of the day, up a little over 3%. The financials were definitely a overperformer for the day. Excuse me, y'all. Using here Yahoo Finance, and somehow these autoplay videos can shuck. But again, ended up today nearly 3.5%. Definitely well off his 52-week low of 21.46. Has a decent price earnings ratio of a 16, and has been actually looking steadily beating earnings estimates for the last 4 quarters. So I'm definitely seeing some growing in its revenues, and has some pretty good buy and strong buy recommendations. So definitely Bank of America is one to watch and one to look at when you're looking at the financial sector. J.P. Morgan Chase has been a strong performer, up 2% today, up well off his 52-week low, 81.64. Looking at this year-to-date chart, definitely can see some recent outperformance here. Also, as a fairly reasonable price earnings ratio of 15, nearly 15 and a half. Also, it's been killing estimates as of late, and continually been growing earnings for the last 2 years. Not as many recommendations, at least here on Yahoo, but definitely is above the consensus average, but below the consensus high on price estimates. J.P. Morgan Chase is another good look in the financial sector. Taking a look here at Citigroup. With Citigroup, again, it has a little bit more international exposure, and with Europe, Asia, and pretty much a global recovery going on right now, it's been performing well as well. I'll get you your question in 1 minute, Rosalind Wilson. And Jeanette, I'm using Yahoo Finance right now for looking at these charts and the estimates. It's a great free resource to use. Yahoo Finance is one of the best ones you can use, and anyone can access it. It has a little bit better price to earnings ratio of 14.8, getting back to Citigroup. Again, well off this 52 weeks high of $55. Year-to-date performance, again, strong indicator, strong chart performance. Definitely has been more on the upside beats to estimates. Definitely had a big pop in earnings in 2015. A little bit less earnings last year, but still a strong buy recommendation from the analysts. Very near par for analyst price targets, but well below the high end of 90. Going over to USB Corp, US Bank Corp. Again, looking at the year-to-date chart, You can see a little bit more choppiness in this one, but definitely strong outperformance over the last several months, well off of its lows of 49.50. So this one definitely has some more upside potential. It has been beating estimates, actually met last quarter's right on the penny. So that can explain some of the underperformance because it hasn't been beating estimates as of late. Still has been steadily growing earnings, slightly, up roughly 10%. Pretty much a hold. So again, let's wait to see some more overperformance from US Bancorp in its earnings, and you can definitely see a nice pop there. Price to earnings ratio is a little high compared to some of the others at 16, but well within conservative limits. Taking a look here at Schwab, it's been one of the big overperformers as of recent. Price to earning ratio is definitely more on the expensive side at 32 PE. Definitely well off his 52 weeks lows of $37. So definitely been a strong performer. As you can see, up today a little over 4%. Has definitely been growing earnings. As you can see, year over year, up roughly $100 million in 2014 to 15, and up $400 million from 15 to 16. So if you continue at this growth rate, that can definitely show you why it has this higher price to earnings ratio. One great thing about the financial sector, almost all these organizations pay some type of dividend. So if you are buying the stock and holding, you will get those dividend payments as well. If you are a little bit more on the conservative side and don't want to pick an individual bank or stock to choose in, I always recommend still choosing an ETF. One of the major ETFs to follow when it comes to the financial is the XLF, or the Financial Sector Spider Fund. Year-to-date performance has been pretty steady. Off the lows of $22.90, it's currently at $28. Up today a point and a half. Is 99% financials, mostly U.S.-based organizations. Its big holdings are Berkshire Hathaway, J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. So XLF is a strong performer for ETF. For another option is the Vanguard Financial Index Fund, symbol VFH. Its current price is $70.51. Again, well off the 52-week lows of nearly $59. Definitely has been an overperformer as of late, nearly up a point and a half today. And as you can see in the chart here, going from 60 to 70 in just about two and a half months. That was early September. So definitely has been performing very well. And as we continue to see developments in the passing of tax reform, and as the U.S. Fed continues to raise interest rates, we will definitely continue to see this performance in the banks. And the last ETF I want to cover is iShares U.S. regional banks. Regional banks have definitely been underperforming, so they definitely reach a stage of trying to catch up with the rest of the market. This would be a good one if you want to get more exposure to your regional banks. Well up off the lows of early September of 42, back up to 50. So there, right there, you have nearly a 20% gain in the last 3 months. Its major holdings again are going to be U.S. Bancorp, PNC Financials, BB&T, SunTrust, as well as other regional banks. Again, that symbol is IAT for the iShares U.S. Regional Banks ETF. So that concludes my deep dive into the individual's financials. I will bring up a couple of charts just to show you guys some of this performance on a little more granular level with some of these support levels. I'm gonna just cover a handful of, I'll just cover the ETFs real quick. Looking at let's go out to a 4-hour chart of the XLF. There we go. As you can see, this recent run over the last several days has really pulled the market up. You've gone from 26 to 28 in just the last few days. Going further back, looking at the last roughly 6 months, we've seen a definite pull from this underperformance beneath this 1 year moving average. In fact, let me switch this up to a day, so it is 1 year fully. All right, so as you can see here, late last year we had kind of a downturn in the financials. Definitely broke below this 1 year moving average, and now since beginning of September, June, we first broke back through the level. Definitely took off in September and has been continuing to climb since. So look, definitely have some strong continuing movement on the upside for financials. So we'll definitely say that, looking at the previous run from late 2012 into early I would say late 2015, we could be looking at another good 18-month bull run in the financial starting to develop. So a great opportunity in the financial industries, especially with the recent rollover of some of the tech stocks. The tech stocks over the last I would say week or so has been the underperformer of the market. In fact, let's see if I can pull up one of these tech sector ETFs. All right, so as you can see on this ETF, the IYH definitely peaked out at around 66 and is now back below the 160 level. It's broke through both the 20-day support. So definitely looking to make sure it does hit support around 155. If it fails the 155 level, definitely could see it pull back to 150. So what's been going on the last week or so is kind of a cyclical switch from the overperforming heavy winners in tech to some of the underperforming more value plays, especially in financials. So if you have been noticing some performance on your tech stocks, this has definitely been a more of a macro headwind that's developed over the last couple of trading periods, and I'll continue to see this trend to continue possibly until next earnings season. So this may be a great opportunity for those that may have missed out on some of those opportunities earlier in the year in the technology space to get a better pricing would just several weeks ago. All right, so Miss Rosalind, I'm gonna go ahead and get to your question. Thank you for your question. You said, how can you cash out Bitcoin? If you have Bitcoin, you most likely have bought it through a online wallet, and your online wallet will allow you to exchange your Bitcoin for your local fiat currency, be it dollars, be it euros, be it whatever your local currency is. Also, I know for myself, I use Coinbase. They have a service called Shift, a Shift card. And with the Shift card, let me see if I have mine. It's a Visa, style debit card that is connected to one of your wallets that you have there with the. Back here is my card. So you get this card and you can use it wherever Visa is accepted. I've used it to, pay for gas, food, hotel, for travel, I mean, like I said, anywhere Visa accepted, they'll take the Shift card. Um, it is considered a prepaid card, a prepaid debit card. So if there's issues, some places like rental cars may not take it because it's not considered a major credit card. But pretty much everywhere else, I haven't had any issues. You can even go to the ATM and take cash out. So there's definitely easy ways to cash out on your Bitcoin. So if you don't know about the Shift card, that would be probably my first recommendation. Most larger digital wallet providers will have that form of card. I know BitPay also has their own debit card service as well. All right, appreciate everyone that's joined the show today. Again, if you want to enter this week's giveaway, all you have to do is like, share, and comment on the video, and you'll be entered in this week's contest. For last week's contest, let me go ahead and pull up the winner. All right, last week's winner is Miss Christy Wilson. So Miss Christy Wilson, you'll be getting your Bitcoin here fairly soon. I'll reach out to you and we'll get that connected. Thanks again for your support of the Black Money Market News. And speaking of supporting the Black Money Market News, definitely check out the links at the bottom of the show. Black Money News, PayPal is paypal.me/Black Money News if you want to make a direct donation. Also visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/Black Money News. We do offer a newsletter through our page for our patrons. We also offer some more market insights to our Patreons. So those are those that can donate, $1, $5, $10 a month to allow myself to continue to improve this show and bring you guys the best in, Wall Street news for the street. We got to definitely take a look at how we are spending our money, where we're investing our money, because that's where we're losing the most, folks. If you look at the financial gap, it's only widening, and it's just going to continue to get worse. So we, as the average everyday of African American consumers, must decide to put our money where our mouth is. We want to see change in our community, and we have to be those change agents ourselves. And to be able to be that change agent, we must take care of yourself and your family, most importantly, financially. So let's secure our financial future, our financial freedom, and give our children some generational wealth to leave instead of generational debt. Again, that's the whole mission of this show. And speaking of the show, coming up on Wednesday, our next episode, I should have Ms. Leah Tomlin on, and she's going to give us some tax news that we can use from an investor standpoint. I'm also going to see if she's had a chance to take a look at the current tax plan and what that may mean for the average household, and how it will affect your wallet. And she says she's also been doing some research on how to classify your taxes on your investments on cryptocurrencies. We definitely seen some recent developments with including Coinbase being sued by the IRS to hand over, I think, a list about 10 to 14,000 accounts for tax purposes. So definitely don't want to get on the Fed's radar for a great development that can generate a lot of wealth for people. So definitely pay your dues the right way. Never pay over, never pay under is what I say. So again, we'll have Ms. Leah Tomlin on Wednesday. Friday show, definitely want to try to bring you guys some information on different stock brokers, different stock apps. So if you have a favorite app that you use, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I haven't used some of the newer apps like the Robinhood or the Acorn, so I'm going to start taking a look at those and give you guys my opinion. And also give you my guys' opinion on different brokers, including the ones I use, just to give you guys some insight so you can make the right decisions for yourself. Next week's show, we'll have another special guest, and I'm working on some more special guests for the rest of the year. A little long show today, but again, we did our second deep dive, and this deep dive was in the financial industry. So if you're watching the show, thank you very much for continuing your support of Black Money Market News. Until Wednesday, one love, y'all.